hydrocarbons to fuel the future, choices and challenges, where we will have experts from the oil and gas industry from across the globe discussing more and taking things forward. To begin with and to formally welcome each and every one of you, may I please request the presence of Shri B. Ashok, Chairman, Indian Oil and Chairman, Steering Committee, Petrotech 2016. Sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji. Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners in New Delhi, Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Shri K.D. Tripathi, Ministry officials from MOPNG and MEA, and my colleagues from the hydrocarbon industry. A very, very good evening to all of you. On behalf of the Steering Committee of Petrotech 2016, as its chairman, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you at this program. As you are kindly aware, International Oil and Gas Conference Petrotech 2016 is being held during December 5th to 7th, 2016 at New Delhi. It is the 12th edition of the flagship event of the Indian hydrocarbon sector that is a must-attend one in this part of the world. Energy demand growth in developed world is slow and moving away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy sources. In contrast, non-OECD Asia is on a fast growth track. Though the peak oil demand is unlikely even in the next decade, but energy security will remain an important issue. Against this backdrop, hydrocarbon industry is facing several challenges and opportunities which need deliberations and actions emerging for the industry. The theme for this edition of Petrotech 2016 is Hydrocarbon to Fuel the Future, Choices and Challenges. This has been drafted in this given scenario. It aims to bring to the attention of policymakers, governments, corporate bigwigs and academia the challenge of ensuring equitable, affordable and reliable energy to every human being on this planet. Over the years, the Petrotech series of conferences has gathered momentum and emerged as a movement uniting the upstream, midstream, downstream sectors and alternative energy sectors of the industry. Petrotech 2016 presents a great opportunity for all the stakeholders to showcase their capabilities, to exchange their expertise, knowledge and experience, and to be part of the growth. Deliberations during the sessions will address policy issues related to inter-country cooperation, energy security, challenges and opportunities arising from oil price volatility, India as a manufacturing hub for hydrocarbon sector, and natural gas as cleaner energy source of the future. As a prime showcase of India's hydrocarbon sector, jointly led by public sector and private sector companies, the Petrotech mega event will attract technologists, scientists, planners and policymakers, management experts, entrepreneurs, service providers and vendors from countries and companies worldwide. Petrotech 2016 will be an enriching experience for delegates, our distinguished guests and invitees. We take this opportunity to apprise you the details of the event and welcome you all once again for this session this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, sir, for setting the tone for Petrotech 2016, and we surely are looking forward to your support this December. Well, before we move forward, we'd like to tell you what Petrotech is all about and what we can look forward to as we come across. May I request all of you to look towards the AV screens.
Energy, the growth catalyst for any nation. Energy that takes a nation from ground zero to become a global superpower. Energy that can transform the future of not just a country, but the entire world. Energy that shapes aspirations and gives wings to our dreams. Today, while balancing the need for energy security, the world is striving to attain three systems from energy efficiency. In India too, whether it is intensifying oil diplomacy initiatives with hydrocarbon-rich countries or the launch of the Give It Up campaign on LPG subsidy, energy security and energy inclusiveness are primary concerns of the government of India.
मैं सैफ्रॉन रिवॉल्यूशन की बात करना चाहता हूं। ग्रीन रिवॉल्यूशन चाहिए, व्हाइट रिवॉल्यूशन चाहिए, सैफ्रॉन रिवॉल्यूशन भी चाहिए। ऊर्जा का रंग है सैफ्रॉन। और इसलिए मैं जब सैफ्रॉन रिवॉल्यूशन की बात करता हूं, मैं ऊर्जा क्रांति की बात करता हूं।
It is upon the global leaders to face the challenge and harness opportunities to ensure that there is reliable and affordable energy for everyone across geographies. The Petrotech series of international oil and gas conferences and exhibitions is one of the most coveted mega events that brings together national and international experts in the oil and gas industry to exchange views and share knowledge, expertise and experiences at a common platform.
The oil and gas vertical is very critical. The geopolitics of world is changing very fast. In every part of the world, there are new economics are emerging. India is the happening point on energy, whether it is conventional energy, whether it is the renewable energy, whether it is new technology adoption in the energy. India is the point of attraction.
And while Petrotech 2016 promises to address the most burning topics of the hydrocarbon sector, India, the host nation, welcomes you to make it a feast for all your senses. India, a country that will expand your imagination like never before. Witness the grandeur of the Taj Mahal in Agra, or soak in the colorful romanticism of Jaipur. Immerse yourself in the spiritual experience of Varanasi on the ghats of the holy Ganga, or go back to the roots of Buddhism at Bodh Gaya. Relax and rejuvenate on the golden beaches, or be transported to a world of intricate sculpture at Khajuraho. India is truly a wondrous land. A plethora of topics lined up for the plenary, theme and technical sessions. The 2016 edition of Petrotech Conference promises to be an insightful, impactful, as well as a memorable extravaganza.
India's economic growth and energy demand have close links. Therefore, the need for oil and gas is projected to grow rapidly,
has gathered momentum and emerged as a movement uniting the upstream, midstream and downstream sectors in India. It is an event that the hydrocarbon sector professionals surely cannot miss.
Network with Get inspired.
Yes, indeed. Petrotech 2016 is a major platform for national and international experts, and we are looking forward to welcoming over 6,000 experts from across the globe with a grand exhibition space. And now, to address our audience, I'd like to invite Shri K.D. Tripathi Ji, Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, and Chairman, Core Group, Petrotech 2016. Let's put our hands together. Sir.
Honorable Minister, Petroleum and Natural Gas, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners and representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, colleagues from my Ministry and Ministry of External Affairs, captains of hydrocarbon industry, a very good evening to all of you. I welcome you all to this event to announce Petrotech 2016 to the Diplomatic Corps resident in Delhi. Petrotech 2016 is India's flagship hydrocarbon event that will see participation of energy ministers from overseas, global energy leaders and experts from December 5 to 7, 2016. Energy lies at the heart of growth and development, and hence is of interest to all of us, governments and businesses alike. To ensure sustainable energy supplies, it is vital for us in India not only to stay tuned to the global oil and gas market, but also develop a strategic and synergetic relationship. With the advent of a new supply-demand dynamics, technological breakthroughs, and focus on sustainable development, The landscape of global energy markets is getting completely transformed. Further, as India's energy demand is projected to be more than double by 2040, to keep our energy growing at a sustainable rate, it is imperative that we strategize to address the new geopolitics of energy amidst our emphasis to increase energy accessibility and affordability. For a growing economy like India, stability in oil markets arrived at by balancing of interests of both producers and consumers is essential for sustained growth and meeting our development priorities. The current geopolitical landscape is of immense importance due to its ingrained capacity for creating sudden pressure on the operations of global energy assets and energy supplies. We are already witnessing shifts in the global energy demand centers and emergence of new supply centers. Under the aegis of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and with the support of Ministry of External Affairs, the Indian oil and gas industry has come together to put together this mega event, including both the private and public sectors. This flagship event of the Indian hydrocarbon sector is a must-attend one in this part of the globe. Each Petrotech conference has been unique in its approach, while ubiquitous in its aim to seek cleaner, greener, and sustainable energy solutions. The theme of Petrotech 2016 is Hydrocarbons to Fuel the Future, Choices and Challenges. The event will cover the entire gamut of the oil and gas industry, upstream, midstream, and downstream, as well as related sectors such as alternative energy, engineering, and technology. This year's Petrotech will have a distinctive global focus and will be organized on a scale higher than any of the previous Petrotech conferences. There will also be the Petrotech Exhibition 2016 covering 15,000 square meters, which will have participation of about 600 exhibitors from 50 countries. 15 countries will host their country pavilions. This time, as a unique initiative, the Petrotech exhibition will have exclusive pavilions focusing on Make in India and renewable energy initiatives. With an eclectic set of national and international speakers sharing their views, knowledge, and experience, Petrotech offers vast scope for collaboration and mutual understanding with a cross-section of professionals from the industry. My colleague in the Ministry of Petroleum, Mr. Sanjay Sudhir, our Joint Secretary in charge of International Cooperation, will take you through the details of this event. I seek your support in our journey of Petrotech 2016. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for sharing the star points of Petrotech 2016. But to give us an overview of what it's going to be all about and how grand we're looking forward to it, I'd like to invite Sri Sanjay Sudhir, Joint Secretary, IC, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Let us put our hands together as he joins us.
Secretary, Excellencies, colleagues and friends. My idea is to navigate you through the program for Petrotech 2016 in a very, very brief manner. Yeah. Well, at 8 p.m. in the evening, it's not my idea to take you through numbers, so I'll just skip these numbers. And I'll also skip the category of participants, but the general idea being that it will cover the entire gamut of issues in the oil and gas sector, and it will draw very broad cross sections of experts, regulators, CEOs, ministers, entrepreneurs, service providers from the oil and gas sector. I don't know whether you are keeping a ball-to-ball account of the India-New Zealand match, but as far as the exhibition is concerned, out of the 15,000 square meters of space available, more than 12,000 is already contracted. So there is still scope if anybody is interested in getting some space in the exhibitions. There are 50 country pavilions already which have been lined up. The list of countries is here. If your country is not in this list and you are still interested in a country pavilion, I think there is still scope. We have confirmations from major companies. This is an indicative list of them. I'll start with day 0, and day 0 would mean the 4th of December. So on 4th of December, the first event which happens is the inauguration of the exhibition, a day prior to the beginning of the conference. In the evening, there's an icebreaker dinner hosted by the minister for the visiting ministers and CEOs who are already in town on that day. On day 0, we'll also have the possibility of organizing bilateral meetings. So as soon as you get confirmation about the program of your ministers, you can send us a request and we'll try our best to slot a meeting as quickly as possible. It's always ladies first, so even before the conference begins, we have a session on women leaders in oil and gas, the emerging trends. On day 1, we have the inauguration of the conference. Most likely, our Honorable Prime Minister will inaugurate the conference. And the first substantive session would be a ministerial session chaired by our Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas. So we have 2 ministerial sessions like this. This will involve the visiting ministers who will have an opportunity to give their perspective on the theme of the conference, which is choices and challenges before us, and also give a perspective about their own strengths in the hydrocarbon sector in the conference. After this, we'll have a plenary session on uncertain oil prices. This will be chaired by Dan Yergin, followed by another plenary session on policy and regulatory issues, which will be chaired by our Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, Mr. Arvind Panagadia. In the evening, we'll have a CEO conclave. Alongside this, we'll also have a BRICS roundtable of energy ministers, and whatever other time we have, we'll try to fit in as many bilateral meetings as possible. In the evening, Minister will again host a dinner, and this will be a dinner by invitation. On day 2, that is 6th of December, we'll have a plenary session in the morning on Make in India. This will be chaired by our Commerce and Industry Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. After that, we'll have some more sessions. One very important part of day 2 would be our hosting of the IEF-IGU Ministerial Conference. So this is a biannual conference organized by the International Energy Forum based in Riyadh and the International Gas Union. And India has the honor to host this event this year. So all the 73 members of IEF are invited to this, and we hope that this will be from the perspective of gas, which is a very high priority for India as well, this will be a significant event. In the evening, we'll have the second ministerial session involving the visiting ministers, and at the end of the day, we'll have a gala cultural evening. I'll keep it as a surprise for you, the cultural programs which have been lined up for all of you. We will have a Yuva Urja Youth Forum. Yuva as in youth and Urja as in energy. I mean, they might be synonymous with each other, but we thought the conference will not be complete without adequate attention to youth, entrepreneurs among youth, and what they are doing and how they can contribute to this sector. On the final day, the day begins with a ministerial conclave. The theme would be Transforming India. In this conclave, we'll have Indian ministers, a host of them, including our Minister for Road Transport, Highways, Railways, Heavy Industries, Science and Technology, Environment, coming up with their own perspectives on what initiatives have been taken in the last couple of years from the perspective of oil and gas. On that day, we'll also have the CLAC roundtable. For this, we have invited 7 countries from Latin America with whom we already have an engagement, which countries which are rich in hydrocarbons. We could further build on our existing engagement. So this will happen on day 3, 7th December. In the evening, we'll have the summing up, the concluding session, which will be, in all likelihood, be chaired by our Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley. In this session, we'll also have the award ceremony. So in the conference, there are several categories of awards for lifetime achievement, for entrepreneurship, for startups, for women entrepreneurs, for youth, and all. So that will all be combined in the concluding ceremony. I think this I've already spoken about. So you can certainly follow Petrotech on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and it has its own dedicated website. And if you want, we can also send you a mailer. There are some very special things about this Petrotech conference. It's going to be a paperless conference where all the delegates will be working on tabs. This is also a carbon neutral conference, so by the time the conference begins, ample number of trees would already have been planted. I have not spoken about day 4 because day 4 is something which we will need your suggestions about. What do you have in mind for your visiting ministers? Do you want us to take them to some touristic sites in India, or do you want us to take them to some refineries around Delhi? But we are open on that. Conference visas, we are always there to help out in that. The Ministry of External Affairs is there to help out in that. This conference has an approval both from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of External Affairs, which are, and we'll be providing you those papers, and our embassies will also be aware of this. So we urge you to get your ministers, or your CEOs of oil companies, national oil companies, regulators, experts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for running us through the flow of events for Petrotech 2016 and how it's going to be an opportunity for each one of us to engage with the experts from leaders. And of course, we are looking forward to seeing your respective ministers. Moving forward, I'd now like to invite the man who's a visionary, a very dynamic leader. He is behind the change that the oil and gas sector has seen in the last few months. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together as I welcome Shri Dharmendra Pradhanji, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India. Let us put our hands together as we welcome him.
Good evening, friends, Excellencies, colleagues from our Foreign Ministry, our own ministry, leaders from our petroleum industry of our country. Friends, my colleague have already apprised you about the Petrotech 2016. We have conceived Petrotech as a platform where energy ministers, experts, oil and gas CEOs and regulators can converge to force mutual beneficial engagements. Friends, today India has emerged as the new engine of global growth. With its consistent growth trajectory, large and growing market and strong economic fundamentals, its fuel is an anchor. Adequate and affordable energy at stable price is a prerequisite for growth of our economy. We know we are not marching alone as our growth path. You are our reliable partners. Certainly, we import about 80% of our oil requirements and about 37% of our gas requirements. 60% of our crude comes from Middle East, 19% from West African countries, 15% from Latin American countries, and around 3% from Southeast Asia. Our top 4 sources of both crude and gas are in 3 continents. There is a success story we are keen to share with our global partners and have invited 48 energy ministers from across the world. Friends, already my colleagues have informed me There will be BRICS Ministerial Roundtable Conference. There will be Community Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC. There will be IEF-IGU Ministerial Conference. There will be Ministerial Conclave. Important policy maker of Indian government. Honorable Prime Minister will inaugurate this energy conference. Honorable Foreign Minister, Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Railway Minister, Honorable Road Transport Minister, Honorable Power Minister, Honorable Commerce Minister, Heavy Industry Minister, Minister looking after environmental issues, all will be participate in this conference. Friends, in today's energy intensive world, while balancing the need of rapid progress, the world is trying to attain three sustainable goals: universal energy access, doubling share of renewable energy, and boosting energy efficiency. For this industry requires new technology and processes, creative business models, and partnership among various stakeholders. We are making efforts to look for new source of energy and have identified bioenergy as a strong contender. This includes ethanol, 2G ethanol, biodiesel, bio-CNG. Agriculture, forest and urban waste can be monetized and used for the fuel production. Friends, we have over 2.5 million vehicles running on CNG and are entering the LNG vehicle market with launch of LNG bus in Kerala. GAIL has entered into an MOU with the Silicon Valley-based company Bloom Energy to develop fuel cells and using natural gas. We are also exploring technology for developing methanol as a transportation fuel and sales. Friends, we have focused on targeting our subsidy. We launched a highly successful POHEL, direct benefit transfer of LPG, in last January 2015. Under Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, we have target to allot 50 million new LPG connection to poor family. Our target is to extend the LPG connection to 75% of our household in next 3 years. Friends, India is leading the International Solar Alliance, a global platform for solar-rich countries to collaborate on solar technology. Friends, our ministry also pursuing green initiatives such as automotive fuels equivalent to Euro 6, it's BS6 in our country by next 2020. Ethanol blending in petrol up to 10%, LNG regasification capacity, enhancement of increased gas share in energy mix from 7% to 15%. Friends, the 12th edition of Petrotech series will address the larger issue of universal energy access, ENP challenges in difficult areas, and terrains, increasing share of renewable in energy mix, and boosting energy efficiency. Every new edition of Petrotech tells the new and evolving Indian story. Friends, India will be celebrating Diwali, a festival of lights, on this Sunday. I greet everybody here for a happy and safe Diwali, plus a joyous festival session. May God bless you all with the light, prosperity and festivity. Thank you, friends.
Thank you so very much, sir. And I'm sure all of us are looking to an all-new India, in fact, an all-new world with leaders like you. Moving forward, we wanted this evening to be one that is an exchange, which is why we've kept an over. I'd like to request all of you who'd like to make any suggestions, ask any questions. I'm sure we'll be more than happy to answer them. My colleagues will be passing around mics. Please identify yourselves. Gentleman on table 8.
Good evening, sir. Dinesh Arya from British High Commission. Thank you for this evening, and UK is really key partner for this Petrotech. A small suggestion and which experience I want to share. There are two venues, one for exhibition and one for the conference. So if there should be, regular shuttle service can be arranged so that our companies, so far 19 companies we are bringing on board, they can, shuttle between both the sessions and get a maximum mileage out of it.
Yeah, there is some distance, although the distance is not much, but we have already factored that in, and there will be a very regular shuttle service between the two venues.
I think most of us are saving our questions for the networking cocktail and dinner. Anybody else? Any other suggestions? That was a very practical suggestion made there. Any questions that you'd like to ask?
Well, I think if there are no more questions this evening, please feel free to write to us at any time. You can, the website has all the details, and we feel free, we will provide you any details you require, particularly closer in time, any clarification you need regarding visas, logistics, regarding details of the program or whatever it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your presence as we look forward to making the world a better place for our future generations, making sure that they get to value the sun, the wind, the tides as much as we do. As we look forward to a better world, I'd like to welcome all of you to being a part of the 12th International Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition to be held from the 5th to the 7th December with an all-new theme of hydrocarbons to fuel the future, choices and challenges. I'd like to welcome all of you to join us for cocktails and dinner, and I'd like to thank our dignitaries for their presence. Let us put our hands together for them yet again. Cocktails and dinner will be served at Open Terrace, which is on the LP level. Thank you for joining us once again.